Coach, just how rare is it for an underager to go to this tournament? Never mind two.
Yeah, well, we had one a couple of years ago, I believe, in Connor Bedard. So yeah, I think it's with how high these kids got drafted and their expectations of themselves. I think they were really hoping to be a part of this group, so it kind of just speaks to their confidence, what they believe themselves. But yeah, I knew just from talking to Al that this was going to be a possibility for them, and it's really good to see that both of them are getting this chance.
What have you seen from them so far, early this season, that they can take this step and go play at the national level?
Well, I think in both of them, I think you have to have the confidence in yourself to believe that you're at that ability. But I think that they have the confidence because they put the work in away from the rink. So they really believe in their abilities because they see the work that their peers are doing, and their work rate and practice, their preparatorial work they do before they get on the ice is right there with the elite. And I think, it just reminds me of Connor when he was here, just the things that he would do away from the rink that everyone doesn't see. And I see those boys, following in the same path.
How beneficial is it for them to, have one another, not just throughout this WHL season, but now heading into this tournament as well?
Yeah, great question. I think that just with the unique experience, guys, with the 34 games and them kind of like being half the Canadians, half on our team, I think, I think that they having each other, I think is, I think it's going to help them. Just when they're split and, they're doing workouts, now they're not doing workouts alone when we're on the ice. So I think that them having this experience together, obviously Maddox being a hometown kid, but being able to lean on Liam a little bit. He's from Vancouver. He's, a 15-year-old kid, 3 provinces away. So there's a lot of things that go away from the rink that I think that they can lean on each other and experience these things together.
They said you were the one that called them with the news. What kind of reactions did you see from them?
Yeah, it's one of the great parts of this job when you get to deliver news like that to these kids. It's just joy and just a little maybe sense of relief, a little of them, because I know that there was something on their radar for both of them. But yeah, it's just one of the great things of seeing that twinkle in their eye and that the happiness come over them. It's just really good to be a part of it.
You knew what you were getting when you drafted both these players. Have they been up to expectations on their start so far with your guys' club?
Yeah, like for me, I think everyone's going to probably point to points and goals, but I think that the role that both of them are playing in our team, Maddox, you could say, is centering our number one line, and Liam's been our second line right winger. So I think everyone thinks about the last time we had 15-year-olds in here. It was during the bubble. These guys weren't going to school. They were playing home games all the time. So I think a lot of the things that these boys are going through now, driving to PA, going to school, all the outside things that really pull you away from hockey, these kids are having to face right now. So for me, I've been very happy with what they brought to our hockey club so far, and I just don't. I think it's completely unnecessary that we put extra pressure on these kids with goals, with points, or even comparing them to other people. I think Connor is a different person than Maddox, and he's a different person than Liam. And Maddox and Liam are different people. So we try to box them in and try to find. Obviously, want that commonality of what the last great 15-year-old did, but in the end, they're human beings and they're different people, and they, Maddox brings a different skill set than Connor does.
If I put myself when I was their age, that's a long time ago, obviously, but when I was their age, I was trying to remember which foot to put my skate into. These guys have got to recognize and realize what system's being run in front of them, what forecheck read they need to make. How does it not become overwhelming?
Yeah, I think that's something that you're talking, I think, from a hockey perspective, in the sense that I think fans see a lot of the other stuff. But these kids, their maturity, their preparatorial stuff they do when they get to the rink, they're not 15. There is some things in their ideas and some of their rationals. They're definitely 15 years old, but they're supposed to be. But as far as their physical abilities, their maturity towards putting the skate on the right foot, that these kids are very dialed, and that's what makes them special, is that maturity. I believe they have been touched by God a little bit, but as far as their physical abilities, but you're only this good, and I think I've really learned that from Sam Steele, Connor Bedard, the real true great ones. A lot of it's maturity, and they're 15 years old, 16 years old, and what boy, girl is supposed to be mature at that age. Nobody. That's why you're a teenager, go through mistakes. But that's where these guys come. They come with a really mature focus and ready to play.
Their goals, obviously you talked about the points, right? But this was one of their goals, was to make this team. How goal-driven are they, and how much does that set them apart from other athletes?
Well, I think that when you look down the line, I think if you go through just reading about other athletes, that's what does. It's that drive, it's that passion. I think that, yeah, everyone's got to be physically gifted, but once you start adding that maturity into it, you start adding that drive and passion into it, it's that's what makes them the next level, or makes them into that top percentile. Because everyone's really good, and there's lots of guys who are fast skaters and shoot the puck and can score, but it's all the intangibles that you don't see on paper that make these guys into that next echelon.
Do you see any competitiveness between Liam and Maddox?
Yeah, I do, but I would say it's in a good way. I think it's it's a really good way, and that's the way that the best players are. I remember we had Adam Brooks and Sam Steele here. These guys were going back and forth for points, and they both had 120 points in one season. So I think it's what the top players are looking for. They're looking for comparisons. They're looking for external motivators, and each other are the best examples of it right now. So I think it's been a really healthy competition. I think that they've both been pushing each other in a very positive way.